Greetings and a very warm welcome to Avon Valley Church's Youth, Children and Families Sunday Bedtime Story. My name is Jan and this is my naughty little rescue dog called Susie, who wanted to see you today. You've met her before. She's been quite good this week, but she did chase 2 ducks into the river and I was frightened that she was going to jump in after them, and honestly the river was a raging torrent, so I'm glad she didn't. Anyway, you may remember last time we were talking about Samson, who was very, very strong. He ruled the people of Israel for 20 years and kept away their enemy, the Philistines. Well, many years later, we come to the story of Ruth, and today I will tell you the first part of Ruth's story. Are you sitting comfortably? Good, then I will begin. Once upon a time in the land of Israel, it was a very dry winter, followed by a very, very dry spring, and then an awfully dry, hot summer. Everywhere was dry, so the grass didn't grow, the food didn't grow, the animals got thinner, and the people had no food. There was so little food that the animals, some bit, started to die. It was a drought. Then there was a famine in the land. So a man called Elimelech, who lived near the town of Bethlehem, decided to travel to the other side of the Dead Sea to a country called Moab. And he took with him his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. In Moab there was plenty of food, so they settled and they lived there. After a few years, their sons found nice girlfriends in the local villages and later married them. Mahlon married Oprah and Chilion married Ruth. There they all lived together very happily. But then, very sadly, the father Elimelech died. So his wife Naomi became a widow, and a widow is a lady whose husband has died. About a year later, the eldest son Mahlon, he had a terrible accident and he died. So his wife Oprah also became a widow. Then extraordinarily, this unlucky family had a third disaster. The second son, Chilion, became very sick and he died. So his wife Ruth also became a widow. Oh dear, those 3 poor ladies were all widows. They had no man to look after them, to protect them, or to earn money to help pay for their food. They were 3 very sad ladies alone in the country of Moab. But then they heard that back in Israel, the rains were reliable again and there was plenty of food. So Naomi, the mother, said to her 2 daughters-in-law, I'm going to return to my own country where all my relatives live. You 2 ladies are from this country and your relatives are all here. So you stay here and I'll go alone. Thank you for being 2 such lovely wives to my sons, and thank you for being so very kind to me. But now we must all say goodbye. But Oprah and Ruth said, we love you, Naomi. You've always been so good and kind to us. We think that we should all stay together. But Naomi replied, oh, bless you for your loving kindness, but you do need menfolk to marry you and give you children. They'll look after you in your old age. So go back to your people. Then she fondly kissed Oprah goodbye, and Oprah finally went back to her own people. Then Naomi turned to Ruth and said, Ruth, my dear, I am too old to marry again and raise another family. I am destined to cope on my own. But you are young. You have a life in front of you. Oh, Susie's getting bored, so I think we'll let her go. So let us say goodbye, and I'll wish you all the very best. This is your country, and you'll find a lovely husband here. So follow Oprah's example. Off you go. But Ruth replied, "No, I will not leave you. I love you dearly, and I will stay with you. Then, when you are old, I will be there to take care of you. So where you go, I will go. Your people shall be my people. Your God shall be my God. Where you live, I will live. I will care for you always. I will never desert you. Only when you die shall we be separated." Then she continued, "May your Lord God accept me as a follower and a believer, for I shall worship him forevermore." Naomi cried for joy to have such a lovely daughter-in-law. The two ladies were so happy to be together. Alone they would each be just one person to challenge the world. But together they felt as strong as three. Usually 1 + 1 makes 2, but when each person really cares for the other, they're both stronger than when alone. They felt as brave as lions. They were ready to take on whatever challenges the world had in store for them. So it was that Naomi and Ruth returned to Naomi's hometown of Bethlehem in the land of Israel. They settled down to live there. Oh, that's the end of this week's story. But it will continue next week. Well, you might like to think about what it had to say. Do you know of two people who have found that the great adventure of life just happened to have brought them together, and then they have found that they like being together, or maybe they find that they work better together? Maybe when one feels frightened, the other one feels brave. So together they get through. When one says, "I can't do it," the other one says, "Well, that's all right, because together we will sort it out." We're getting Susie back again. Come here, Susie. When one says help, the other one says, "You can count on me." Sometimes it's surprising when you need a friend. There is someone just waiting to be asked. Also, you might find someone in great need of a friend. Then you can help them, and that will make their day. This Bible story of Ruth continues next week. So Granny Marianne will be telling you what happened to Naomi and her lovely daughter-in-law Ruth. Goodbye from me, and goodbye from naughty Susie, and God be with you. Say goodbye, Susie. Wave you. Stop thinking of biscuits.